Hey guys, what's up? Kyle here. I want to talk about an interesting topic here. I really haven't had the need to really, I kind of want to talk about it, but I just haven't really found the place and time to discuss it. Buff Been Stuff made a video on this exact same topic, and it urged me to put my feathers in the same cap, so to speak. So the other day, Buff Been Stuffed made a really interesting video on his thoughts on if Brock Lesnar, about Brock Lesnar, possibly I hope, pray to God, him winning the WWE Championship at SummerSlam against John Cena, and his thoughts on how he feels about it. And, you know, I've been on his same page since they had even thought of putting a strap around Brock, like late last year, 2013, when they had thought of putting a strap on Brock. I had no problem with it. Basically, Buff Been Stuff in this video was talking about not only how he felt about, Brock Lesnar being the champion, but also how, how would people, hate The Rock when he was the WWE champion in early 2013, but will be all right with Brock being champion in 2014. And, he was saying how, he's heard a lot of people in an uproar when Rock became champion or wanted to become champion, did eventually become champion, but we're not really hearing much about any negative feedback on Brock becoming champion, at least not yet. My thoughts on this whole thing: I have no problem with Brock Lesnar being the WWE undisputed champion. First of all, I think, before that, I never had a problem with The Rock being WWE champion. I love The Rock. Rock's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Number one all-time favorite wrestler, tied with Steve Austin. He was in good ring shape. He might not have been The Rock of old, but he still had mobility. He can still move around well, and was still physically in shape for a guy his age, even though I think his cardio is way off. However, I didn't mind seeing Rock becoming WWE champion one more time. I enjoyed it. I thought he was a good brief run. The negative side to Rock being champion that I had a problem with, that irked the hell out of me, was that he was just basically holding the belt just to give it to Cena, to put Cena over after he beat Cena at that previous year's WrestleMania. That was my only negative thing about Rock being the champion. Because, okay, well, he's not the champion just to be the champion. He's the champion, so he could just give it to Cena, and Cena could also beat him. That irked the hell out of me. However, but I still enjoy Rock being champion. Brock Lesnar, on the other hand, I would have no problem being WWE champion. I mean, this is a guy who did the unthinkable. He beat The Undertaker's undefeated streak. He touched the unholy grail. And where do you go with a guy who's done something like that? I mean, he didn't beat Triple H. He didn't, beat John Cena. He didn't beat, a top talent, just any top talent on the roster. He beat a legend. He beat a legend in his own backyard, WrestleMania. Regardless of how ridiculous or stupid you thought that decision may have been on WWE's part, or aka Vince McMahon, for the streak to end, it happened. It's in the record books. As Batista says, deal with it. It put some adrenaline back into Brock Lesnar, because Brock Lesnar has been mismanaged. I still say to this day, when he first came in the door in 2012, he never should have lost his first match against Cena. But looking at the circumstances, looking at how things are now, and see how Cena would face him for the title, I'm expecting Cena to do the JOB for BROCK. So, I have no problem with him being champion. I mean, like I said, he beat The Undertaker streak. Where else did you go from there? Another fight with Triple H? No, nobody wants to see that. A fight with Randy Orton? Maybe, but it's not really an upscale match, in my opinion. I don't think that draws as much as some other things. Where's for you to go other than a title match? I mean, you beat The Undertaker streak. You can't get any higher than getting a title match. And Brock Lesnar has been here for, over 2 years now. So you kind of should expect to some degree him getting a title shot to a degree, even though he's only wrestled in big pay-per-view matches. I mean, still. Now, there's also the concern of, you know, with Brock, his limited date schedule, which was far more condensed than what Rock's was when he came back. Would he be on a Raw? Would he be on Raw and house shows and stuff? And would that be okay? I actually have no problem with, you know, we having a WWE champion and he's not there every Raw or every pay-per-view. Know why? Simply for the fact because, you know, you go back to, you know, back in the late 80s, early 90s. You know, I'll say early 90s. When Raw first aired, when Raw first began airing in 93, Hulk Hogan was WWE champion. Hulk Hogan was not on every Raw. Hulk Hogan was on this. You only saw Hulk Hogan on some Saturday night main events and on pay-per-views. You didn't see Hulk Hogan on Monday Night Raw, period. So, you know, it worked then. I think it can work now. I see no problem with that. Brock Lesnar will also be working on Night of Champions. He's booked to work that pay-per-view as well. Now, would he keep the belt? How long would he keep the belt from SummerSlam to, say, WrestleMania? Because I read reports 2 days before that WWE are thinking long-term, and Buff and stuff also even mentioned on this exact topic, that they're thinking of building Brock up all the way to WrestleMania, and at that same time, simultaneously building up Roman Reigns to be the next big baby face, to be the one to take on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the title. Long term, I love that idea. I think it'll be great. I think, you know, if you give Brock the belt from August to, April 2nd, I think that's when WrestleMania of next year, that's a lot of time for you to build Brock Lesnar, get all his sting back, all the crap they've given Brock Lesnar over the last 2 years. This is the time for you to build him up, get him some steam, and at the same time building up Roman Reigns to be that next big mega star. So, I mean, you know, I have no problem with Brock Lesnar being the WWE Undisputed Champion. Yes, due to the schedule, he won't be at every pay-per-view, every house show, Raw, whatever. I don't know how they're going to work it out, but like I said, I can understand people's fear and doubts, but I would have no problem with it because, like I said before, you go back to the late 80s, early 90s, well, early 90s when Raw first began, this first 2 or 3 year run, Hulk Hogan was barely seen on Raw. That's because he was the world champion, and the world champion was a special attraction. The world champion was somebody that you saw on pay-per-views, that you want to see on pay-per-views. If they can market Brock Lesnar like that with his limited date schedule and him being the champion, and they market him where he's a special attraction, which Brock Lesnar to a degree he is now. He's at that point where he is a special attraction. He doesn't need to be on everything WWE because he still has drawing power. If they market Brock Lesnar like old school booking, like they did with Hulk Hogan back in the day with him being the champion, him not being on every Raw or, you know, SmackDown, every pay-per-view, but you have to pay to see the champion, I think that can work in Brock Lesnar's favor. I think WWE can make a pretty decent profit if they market him that way. You guys let me know what you think about Brock Lesnar being the WWE champion. Do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? I want to hear your thoughts. I definitely want him to beat the hell out of John Cena. John Cena beat him last year. Brock beat him several years ago before 2012. So this is the rubber match, and yeah, I want Brock Lesnar to kick Cena's Fruity Pebble arse, as Sheamus would say. Comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Peace.